There are a total of 17 different types in Loomian Legacy. You've already seen the title of the video, how fast can you get each type in Loomian Legacy. That means we're going to be looking at every type of Loomian in the game, crazy, I know, and figuring out what is the earliest possible opportunity to catch them. Given that this is technically a speedrun, I'm going to be trying to go as fast as I can, but that doesn't mean I'm going to be getting every Loomian at the soonest point that's theoretically possible. So if you think you'd be able to get some of these Loomians faster than me, I highly encourage you to try out the speedrun for yourself. Alright, so first off, I needed to make a list of all the different types of Loomians that I'm going to try and catch in my journey throughout the game, checking each route and town to see when is the earliest possible opportunity to attain them. The starters already cover 7 out of 17 of the total types in the game, which is great, because that means I can just look at the world record run, which is required to grab their starter as soon as possible, and simply use their time for the fastest time you can get these 7 types, which ends up being 2 minutes and 7 seconds. Now that we have that covered, the latter half is obviously a little more complicated, but that's going to be the main focus of the video. This run, or I guess these runs, are mainly just trying to see how fast I can get individual types and not every type in one run. I'm going to be catching most of the types in my longer runs for efficiency, but I did multiple shorter runs just to get individual Loomians, which I'll mention when it's relevant. Interestingly, you might realize a similarity between this run and my video going over the best team to beat Loomian Legacy with. That being, the starter we pick here is Eaglet. This is because, despite many people in my comments section insisting that Weevil/Zulong is a better starter overall, that's simply not the case. Eaglet is by far the best choice for dealing with Duskit and Gale Forest. It's immune to 3/4 of its moves, and if you just use Eaglet for every trainer battle before Duskit, it'll be even higher level and easily clear it even without Shine being super effective, which I admit I claimed in that video but turned out to be wrong. Weevil, on the other hand, takes many fights to start being good and requires a good bit of grinding even after getting XP from trainer battles, so despite it having a cool final evolution, it's just not viable. Now, since I don't practice Loomian Legacy speedrunning, I'm not going to be perfect. I got a lot of really slow times from mistakes that I'd make just because I haven't gone through the tutorial or even just the whole beginning portion of this game in a long time. So forgive my lack of skill and go easy on me in the comments, please! The very first 3 Loomians, not counting starters, are attainable all on the same route, and aside from some stats, abilities, and potential other factors which might affect the time it takes to catch them, they're basically all attainable at the same time. Those first 3 Loomians being Cathorn first, knocking out our bug type for the run at a fastest time of 4 minutes and 17 seconds, then Twiddle right behind that at 4 minutes and 23 seconds for our air type, and finally, Twilight at 4 minutes and 31 seconds, giving us our simple type. Once we're done with that, we head up to Gale Forest for the 4th type of the run being Piter, giving us our toxic type with a time of 6 minutes and 4 seconds. Then we fight some trainers and get some XP to fight Duskit, which really shouldn't be too hard, and move on to Route 3 for our Earth type, Babor, with a time of 15 minutes and 24 seconds. Those first 5 Loomians we just covered are all fairly close to the start of the game, so I thought I could catch them quickly enough into a run, and I did specific runs trying to catch them and did nothing else. The rest of these, however, are not. So they'd all have faster potential times than the ones I got, because obviously, if I spend time catching 2 Loomians in one run, it'll inevitably take longer than catching only one of those Loomians each in their own dedicated run. The next thing I need to do is fight the Battle Theater, which is not too easy to solo clear with one single Loomian, but with enough XP, I'm guaranteed to make it through eventually to our next Loomian, which is Shachi on Route 4 for our Mind type at 1 hour, 29 minutes, and 14 seconds. And then we have more story to do with the Corrupt Monks before catching the next Loomian, being Igneal and Igneous Hollow with a time of 2 hours, 6 minutes, and 59 seconds, which honestly could be significantly improved with some better luck since it has a pretty low encounter chance. Then we have the Ikazune battle, along with our second Battle Theater, which Torpray solo clears way easier than the first one, followed by our next Loomian being Fancub with a time of 2 hours, 49 minutes, and 30 seconds. This is the only instance in the run where a Loomian actually knocks out 2 types at once, since Fancub alone is both Spirit and Brawler type. Both of those are not covered by any starter first stage, and they're also not covered by any other Loomian before this point in the game. Unless you get unlucky and end up encountering a Wispup first, which does cover the Spirit type, but since they're both in the same area, I'd say running away from any Wispups to find a Fancub as soon as possible would probably be ideal. Next we have the final and most annoying type in the game, since we're crossing all of Route 6 without fighting any trainers, meaning we're going to be quite underleveled with a Torpray that's weak to metal type attacks from the only things blocking us from moving into the garbage? Well, once we get through, we can end off the run by catching this Chompactor that's metal type with a total time of 2 hours, 38 minutes, and 32 seconds? Huh? The world record run picks Snowcub? Alright, try this run out for yourself. This shit's a waste of time. Fuck you, I'm done with this video. Bye.
Haha, get See, coming back to the porn